You're watching Sports Icons. Subscribe. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. Champ.
So America gets 2 middleweight world champions this weekend, and I've been looking around, some of the bigger channels just to see if they've been covering it, and they haven't. These so-called hardcore boxing fans, they haven't covered the fact that not only did Demetrius Andrade get the WBO world middleweight title, the vacant one, of course, after defeating Walter Katendokwa in a very, very good fight, by the way, where he dropped Walter in the very first round. Well, I say he dropped him. No, I think Walter Katendokwa, I'm just going to call him Walter. Walter, he fell forward and hit the deck, and then Demetrius Andrade hit him while he was on the canvas. Andrade was very, very lucky that he didn't get disqualified in that moment. But no matter what, it was ruled as a legitimate knockdown. And then he knocked him down again in round number 2, was it? I'm sure it was 2. And then in round number 4, he drops him twice. So already at this point, Walter needs a knockout to win this fight. And as I'm watching it live, it's almost like Andrade, he kind of just stopped going for the kill. It's almost like, well, you know what, I've been out the ring for over a year, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to get some rounds under my belt now. At this new weight division, of course. So that's what I thought what happened, but in reality, what really happened was, which we didn't find out till later, was that he hurt his shoulder. So he popped his shoulder or something like that. So he couldn't throw the big bombs. Hence the reason why he probably went the distance, to be fair. Now, again, to be fair, who heard of Walter Katendokwa before this fight? Unless you're a real hardcore boxing fan, probably not. Unless you follow African boxing, and especially in Namibia, again, you probably haven't heard of him. But either way, Andrade, he delivered him his first loss, and Demetrius Andrade becomes WBO World Middleweight Champion. There's the first American. The second one, in a shock defeat, let's be real, Ryota Murata loses to Rob Brant. Now, the last time I saw Rob Brant was in the World Boxing Super Series at Super Middleweight, where he lost to Jürgen Bremer. So that was his one and only loss. He has had a fight since at middleweight, and again, he gets a world title shot at Ryota Murata. And to be fair, I think this was probably a cherry pick that's gone wrong for Murata. I'm not saying that Murata chose him and it all went wrong. Potentially Bob Arum chose this one and it went wrong, okay? But either way, Rob Brant didn't just beat Ryota Murata, he dominated him by a good 9 or 10 rounds. Okay, so this was a clear victory for Rob Brant there. So he becomes the WBA regular middleweight world champion. Now again, some people might say, yeah, but it's not a legitimate world title. Well, the record shows that it is. So Murata was world champion, and Rob Brant is now world champion. Let's look at the other ones who's got the WBA regular titles up and down divisions. Rocky Fielding. So to say that Rob Brant is not a world champion, that would be like saying, well, Rocky Fielding isn't either. So Canelo versus Rocky Fielding isn't really for a world title. We could look at it the other way. You've got Keith Thurman, you've got Manny Pacquiao. One of them's got the super, one of them's got the regular. Originally, Keith Thurman had super, his inactivity, and since Manny Pacquiao got the WBA title, I think he's been elevated to super. So which one of these guys is the regular champion and which one is the super champion, I have no idea. But on paper, both of them are world champions, right? Nobody has said that one of these guys is not a world champion. I haven't heard anybody saying it. It's like Manuel Charr at the minute at heavyweight. He's a WBA regular heavyweight world champion. Before him, Lucas Brown was. A little while ago, David Hay was. So my point is that as much as we want one WBA world champion, there are in fact 2 for most of the divisions. So Rob Brant is a legitimate world champion. So again, it almost swings it a little bit more as well, where potentially next weekend, if Daniel Jacobs beats Sergey Derevchenko for the IBF middleweight world title, then all the belts will be on DAZN. It's not true, because Rob Brant is not on DAZN. So unless you discount all regular champions throughout up and down the divisions, then yes, DAZN have all the world titles. But if you can recognise that Rocky Fielding is a world champion or Manny Pacquiao is a world champion, then you have to recognise Rob Brant is. So anyway, point is, America now gained 2 world titles this weekend, and I haven't seen any other channel talking about Rob Brant defeating Rada Murata. Again, with Murata losing, that pretty much paves the way for Triple G versus Jermell Charlo, because we know that while Murata held this title, there was a very real possibility that he would have fought Triple G next in Japan, because Murata is a real superstar in Japan, and his fight before this one against an unknown drew in 16 million viewers in Japan alone. So big bucks. Now, I'm not saying that him versus Triple G will not happen anyway, because there's no world title on the line, but it's less likely. So I think if Triple G wants to become world champion again and potentially get that third fight with Canelo, then to do that, he's going to have to go through Jermell Charlo. So I think Rob Brant, by defeating Rada Murata, that may well pave the way for Triple G versus Jermell Charlo. Unless, of course, Triple G versus Rob Brant happens. Maybe, but is it going to be lucrative financially for Triple G to fight Rob Brant? Probably not, to be fair. In fact, most Americans probably don't even know who Rob Brant is, right? But either way, America has 2 world champions this weekend. I don't know if any Americans have lost any world titles this weekend. I haven't seen anything that has. I've seen Tevin Farmer defended his world title, of course, against James Tennyson. He won that one, so he retains his title. Cindy Serrano went for the world titles against Katie Taylor and just got dominated, so she never got any. But yeah, either way, Demetrius Andrade and Rob Brant are now middleweight world champions. Drop your thoughts below, click that thumbs up, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.